Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I thought we'd have a look at a few troublesome vowels for British English. And I'd like to talk about the vowel A, the vowel O, and then the diphthong O. Let's start off with A. Now the A is a very English sound, and many other European languages don't have the A sound. You need to really open your mouth wide. Your lower jaw really has to drop. When I say A, you can see my lower jaw drop. You can find the sound, this short A, in words such as at, cat, black, fact, have, and many others. And here's a few sentences to have you practice this. That flat in Amsterdam is handy for Pat. That flat in Amsterdam is handy for Pat. And the second sentence. Bangers and mash can be a very appetizing snack if a man is ravenous. Once more. Bangers and mash can be a very appetizing snack if a man is ravenous. The second vowel we're looking at is the rounded back vowel O. And again you can see that my mouth is relatively open, my lower jaw is dropped again, O, but I have full lip rounding. Now the sound O is sometimes troublesome for people because they're very often influenced by American English. And in American English, especially in words spelled with an A that's not followed by an R, such as walk or talk or law or dawn. In British English you have this fully rounded O, but in American English you have an R sound. Walk, talk, law, darn. Try not to forget the lip rounding if you want a British English accent. Walk, fully rounded lips. Also here I have a couple of sentences for you to try out. Here's the first one. Paul or Corey ought to reinforce the boards before even more horses force their way into the store. Lots of ors there. Once more, Paul or Corey ought to reinforce the boards before even more horses force their way into the store. And here's the second sentence. In the port of Bournemouth, the police found a hoard of sordid porn on board of a dory. In the port of Bournemouth, the police found a hoard of sordid porn on board of a dory. And now we come to that typically British O sound, a diphthong, meaning two vowels following one another, gliding from one position to another. O. Now, many people think that if they say O instead of O, that they sound too posh. That's not the case. It's just a difference between British English and, for instance, American English. American English only has an O sound, not an O sound. And you see with O that I start with lip rounding also. O. In words such as no, or hoax, or boat, or glow. And of course you can make that too posh if you want to. If you start saying oh no, you see I'm overdoing the lip rounding now. Of course you shouldn't do that. But some lip rounding is necessary in order to produce that good British English sound O. Also here, a couple of sentences. Although there was no known cause, the floating hotel's gross takings continued to go down. Although there was no known cause, the floating hotel's gross takings continued to go down. And the second one. At home in Rome, Jones bloke told a joke, but didn't notice that nobody took note. At home in Rome, Jones bloke told a joke, but didn't notice that nobody took note. Now, O is a diphthong, and in general diphthongs, or glides as they're sometimes called, they can be tricky because some people try to just make them into one long sound. And in English, especially in British English, there are quite a few of those glides, those diphthongs. We had O. There's also another one ending in U, namely ow. Then there are three ending in ear, air, and oor. And then there are those ending in I, oi, a, and I. Maybe I can do a video on that later. Let me round off by pointing out a few differences with other diphthongs. First of all, some people confuse O with ow. So let's have a couple of contrasts here. You have with an ow and then something with an O. Found and phoned. Clown and clone. Out and oat. And town and tone. Also the difference between or, that fully rounded or that we were talking about earlier, that or versus o can also sometimes be troublesome. Also here a few contrasts. Bought, boat. Law, low. Lawn, loan. Form, foam. Now, all of these contrastive exercises and all of the other examples, including the sentences, they all come from this book. Sounds Perfect. That's a book I made with a colleague of mine, Nadine van den Eynden Morpeth, with the subtitle A Shortcut to British English Pronunciation. I'll include the details below, but as a quick reminder, it's Sounds Perfect. Hope you found this interesting, and I'll see you in a next video. Bye bye.